Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me closely. There are businesses that might fail, there are businesses that could fail, and then there are businesses that will never fail. And when I say never, I don't mean barely hang on. I mean, in any economy, any generation, these are businesses that will always thrive, if you understand the principles behind them. Let's break it down. Health is a timeless need. People will always pay to stay alive. That simple truth underpins one of the most resilient and recession-proof industries in existence. From the beginning of time, human beings have been trying to preserve their bodies, enhance their strength, and extend their lives. Whether it was ancient herbal remedies, tribal healing rituals, or modern medical breakthroughs, the pursuit of health has always driven innovation, economy, and demand. No matter how much technology advances, no matter how much culture shifts, people will always be willing to invest in their health when it matters most, especially when it's too late. There's something deeply embedded in the human psyche that causes people to take health for granted until it becomes urgent. Most folks won't spend $50 a month on a gym membership, but they'll spend $50 on a hospital bill once a crisis hits. They won't invest in organic food today, but they'll pour thousands into medications and surgeries tomorrow. Why? Because when pain enters the picture, priorities shift fast. Pain creates urgency, and urgency opens wallets. That's why health-based businesses aren't just profitable, they're powerful. They meet people at their most vulnerable moment and offer solutions they need, not just what they want. And it's not just physical health. Emotional, mental, and even spiritual well-being fall under the health umbrella. Mental health coaching, stress management programs, trauma therapy, nutritional consulting, sleep optimization, gut health education. These are all part of the growing landscape of holistic wellness. We're living in a time when anxiety, depression, burnout, and chronic illness are at all-time highs. People are searching, they're desperate for answers, they want to feel better, they want energy, they want vitality. And more than ever, they're willing to pay someone who can help them get there. The beauty of the health space is that it allows for a wide range of business models. You could be a health coach, a supplement seller, a fitness instructor, a meditation guide, a yoga studio owner, or a holistic practitioner. You could sell digital products like courses, e-books, and memberships. You could offer physical products like health drinks, vitamins, or detox kits. You could do in-person services or build a completely online business. The delivery method doesn't matter nearly as much as the outcome you help people achieve. If your offer helps people move from pain to peace, from fatigue to energy, from confusion to clarity, you are in a position of power. And this demand isn't seasonal. It doesn't spike and drop like fads or trends. Health is not a trend. It is a fundamental, biological, emotional, and spiritual need. When the economy crashes, people might cut back on luxury vacations, new cars, or designer clothes. But they will still find a way to pay for that chiropractor, that therapist, that weight loss coach, or that supplement that makes them feel alive. Because when everything else is uncertain, the one thing they know for sure is that they want to feel better. They want to live longer. They want to thrive. That's why health businesses are not just lucrative. They are lasting. They provide what people will always need. And if you root your business in service, if you truly care about people's outcomes, not just their payments, then you will tap into something deeper than profit. You'll tap into purpose, because when you help someone improve their health, you don't just change their life. You change their family's life, their energy levels, their productivity, their emotional resilience, all of it improves. And that creates a ripple effect in homes, in workplaces, in communities. Wealth creation is in constant demand. Teach it, and you'll always have clients. Money is not just a tool for survival. It's a means to freedom, impact, and security. People aren't just looking for money to buy things. They're looking for money to buy time, choices, and peace of mind. Every single day, someone wakes up stressed about a bill they can't pay, a dream they can't fund, or a life they can't afford to live. That pressure drives a global hunger for financial education, and the ones who can teach wealth building principles effectively are always in demand, regardless of economic conditions. It doesn't matter if the stock market is up or down, if inflation is rising or falling, or if job markets are stable or shaky. People still want to know how to make more money, how to manage it better, how to multiply it faster, and how to protect it longer. Wealth is one of the few subjects that never go out of style because it touches every area of a person's life. A lack of money affects relationships, health, mental well-being, and even a person's sense of identity. That's why financial pain is one of the greatest motivators in the marketplace. And it's exactly why wealth-related businesses always have an audience. This could take many forms. You could teach personal finance, budgeting, debt elimination, saving, or investing. You could teach people how to start and grow businesses, how to generate passive income, how to flip real estate, or how to build high income skill sets like sales or trading. You could offer coaching, consulting, online courses, membership communities, live events, or even just write books. The method can vary, but the mission is the same. Help people understand and implement the principles that lead to wealth. And the truth is, most people were never taught these principles. School taught them how to memorize facts, not how to manage money. College taught them how to get a job, not how to build assets. Even in many homes, talking about money was taboo. So now you've got entire generations of adults with jobs, families, and responsibilities, yet they're completely unprepared financially. That gap in education creates an enormous opportunity for entrepreneurs, mentors, and teachers who are willing to step into the financial space with integrity and real value. Wealth creation isn't just about the money itself. It's about what that money allows people to do. When someone has financial stability, they can be more present with their families. They can give more generously, they can take risks, they can dream again. Helping someone unlock that level of freedom is not just a transaction, it's a transformation. And that transformation is what makes this kind of business sustainable. You're not selling hope, you're selling how. You're not pitching a fantasy, you're providing a strategy. That's why results matter. If people can take what you teach and actually see their financial lives improve, your reputation grows, your client base multiplies, and your business becomes bulletproof. It's also important to understand that the demand for wealth building isn't just local, it's global. With the internet, people from every country, background, and walk of life are looking for answers. They're Googling how to start side hustles, watching videos on investing, and searching for mentors who can guide them. That means the reach of a wealth-related business is virtually unlimited. Whether you're helping a single mother create a budget, teaching a young man how to build his first online business, or coaching a professional on how to retire early, your market is always alive. People are tired of struggling, they're tired of living paycheck to paycheck. They want options, they want a new narrative. And if you can give them the tools, the mindset, and the roadmap to build wealth, they will follow you. Not because of who you are, but because of what you help them become. Relationships drive life, help people connect, and your business will thrive. Human beings are wired for connection. From the moment we are born, we seek attachment, affirmation, and a sense of belonging. No matter how much technology advances, no matter how successful someone becomes financially or professionally, the deepest needs of the human heart remain the same. People want to be seen, heard, understood, and loved. And when those needs go unmet, pain follows. That pain creates demand, and that demand becomes one of the most powerful foundations for sustainable business. There is no phase of life where relationships don't play a critical role. Children need nurturing and secure bonds with their parents. Teenagers seek acceptance and identity through social groups. Adults look for romantic partnership, emotional intimacy, and lasting love. Married couples strive to maintain harmony, communication, and trust over time. Families wrestle with parenting dynamics, generational tensions, and the pressures of modern life. Even in the professional world, success often hinges on the strength of relationships, teamwork, leadership, conflict resolution, and communication are all relationship-driven skills. This is why relationship-based services and businesses always have relevance. Marriage counseling, dating coaching, parenting mentorship, family therapy, group support, mentorship communities, and even communication training all fall into this space. People are hungry for guidance because healthy relationships aren't automatic, they're learned. And in many cases, people are doing the best they can with what they were taught. But what they were taught wasn't enough. They're navigating love with broken tools. They're raising children from a place of exhaustion. They're building businesses but lacking the interpersonal skills to lead teams. The pain points are everywhere, which means the opportunity is massive for anyone willing to step in and help. One of the reasons this field is so powerful is because it deals with the heart. When someone is going through a divorce, when a teenager is rebelling, when parents are burned out, or when a person feels completely alone, logic doesn't solve the problem. Information isn't enough. They need empathy, guidance, and clarity. Businesses that focus on relational transformation provide something that can't be manufactured, emotional peace. And when someone experiences peace in a place that's been chaotic for years, they will become loyal to that coach, therapist, or guide for life. Relationship-based businesses are also incredibly versatile. Some professionals focus on romantic relationships, helping singles find partners or helping couples repair broken trust. Others work with parents and families, helping them navigate behavioral issues, blended family dynamics, or generational communication breakdowns. Others focus on interpersonal effectiveness in the workplace, showing leaders how to build culture, inspire teams, and navigate conflict. Some focus on friendships and social anxiety, helping people break out of isolation and build meaningful community. The niches are endless because the need is universal. The rise of digital platforms has only increased the opportunity. People are more isolated than ever, even though they're more connected through technology. Social media often replaces real connection with surface-level interaction. Loneliness, depression, and anxiety are on the rise. That's why online relationship coaching programs, virtual therapy, community memberships, and live events are thriving. People want real connection, and if you can offer them that, if you can help them build it for themselves, you will never run out of clients. What makes this type of business powerful is not just the service, but the ripple effect. When you help a couple heal, you create a better home environment for their children. When you help a leader communicate better, you improve the morale of an entire team. When you help someone break free from emotional baggage, they show up differently in every area of life. The transformation multiplies, and that kind of impact doesn't just grow a business, it creates movements. Faith and purpose are deeper than profit. Build legacy, not just income. At the core of every human being is a desire to understand why they exist. People don't just want to live, they want to live for something. No matter their background, age, or income level, there comes a point in every person's journey when they begin to ask the deeper questions. Why am I here? What is the meaning behind all of this? Is there something more to life than just working, paying bills, and dying? These are not surface-level curiosities. They are spiritual aches. And where there is spiritual hunger, there is business opportunity, if approached with authenticity, reverence, and impact in mind. When people lack a sense of purpose, they can achieve success and still feel unfulfilled. That's why so many high-performing individuals, even after hitting financial goals or career milestones, end up burned out, depressed, or confused. They've climbed the ladder of achievement only to find that it was leaning against the wrong wall. Purpose is the wall. Without it, everything else feels hollow. That's why businesses that help people find clarity about their values, beliefs, and calling are not only important, they are essential. Faith and purpose-oriented businesses can take many forms. Some focus on spiritual development, coaching people through their beliefs, their relationship with God, or their internal compass. Others focus on helping clients discover and walk in their life's calling through purpose coaching, career alignment, or vision mapping. There are books, courses, mentorship programs, events, and communities all built around helping people make sense of who they are and why they're here. And the people who step into these spaces with wisdom and integrity often find themselves at the center of powerful, transformational experiences. This area of business is not about hype. It's not about flashy marketing or quick wins. It's about depth. People come to this space because they're tired of living on autopilot. They want more than just success. They want significance. They want to know that their lives count, that their work matters, and that there's something bigger than themselves guiding their journey. A business that can help uncover that truth becomes more than a transaction. It becomes a catalyst for rebirth. Another powerful aspect of faith and purpose-driven businesses is that they create communities. People who are on a similar path tend to seek each other out. They want safe spaces to grow, to question, to explore, and to deepen their understanding. That's why retreats, mastermind groups, purpose-driven memberships, and small group coaching programs do so well in this niche. It's not just the information that matters, it's the environment. People want to be surrounded by others who are also seeking truth, purpose, and alignment. In a world full of distractions, noise, and surface-level living, the call to purpose is louder than ever. People are beginning to realize that no amount of money, fame, or status can substitute for internal peace. When you build a business that connects people to that peace, you create something that cannot be commodified. It's not just about helping them build a better life on the outside. It's about guiding them to become more grounded, intentional, and fulfilled on the inside. Faith is not just about religion. It's about trust, trusting that your life has meaning, that your story has value, and that your steps are ordered. Purpose is not just about career. It's about alignment, knowing that what you do, who you serve, and how you show up in the world all flow from a deeper conviction. When you help people connect those dots, you create not only lasting transformation, but lasting loyalty. People don't forget who helped them find themselves. They remember, they refer, they return. People don't pay for products, they pay for transformation. At the surface level, Every marketplace appears to be filled with products and services, things to buy, tools to use, and programs to join. But when you go deeper, you realize something more powerful is happening. People are not buying the thing. They're buying what the thing can do for them. They're not buying a course. They're buying confidence. They're not buying a supplement. They're buying energy. They're not buying a coaching session. They're buying clarity, momentum, and breakthrough. This understanding changes everything about how a business operates and how it communicates value. Too many entrepreneurs get caught up in features. They talk about how many modules their course includes, how many pages are in their ebook, or how many grams of protein are in their shake. And while those things are fine to know, they are not what sells. People don't want features, they want outcomes. They want transformation. They want to go from where they are now to where they dream of being. And if you can show them that your offer is the bridge between those two places, you become irresistible. That shift from selling stuff to selling change is the difference between a struggling business and a thriving one. Transformation isn't limited to life, faltering change. It can be simple, subtle, or even short-term. If someone feels stuck in their fitness routine and your product gives them renewed excitement, that's transformation. If someone is overwhelmed by a life decision and your coaching gives them clarity in just one session, that's transformation. The value is in the shift. The moment they feel better, clearer, lighter, stronger, more confident, more capable. That's when you've delivered something worth paying for. And not just paying for once, they'll come back again, because people crave transformation like they crave oxygen. This principle also applies to how businesses position themselves. If you want to stand out in a crowded marketplace, don't talk about what your product is. Talk about what your customer will become by using it. Show them a before and after. Paint a picture of life on the other side of your process. Help them feel the emotional weight of the gap between where they are and where they want to be. Then, introduce your offer as the solution that helps them close that gap. When done with integrity and empathy, this approach builds trust quickly and drives conversion consistently. Another reason this concept is so important is because people are tired of surface-level promises. They've spent money on things that didn't work. They've bought tools that collected dust. They've joined programs that overpromised and underdelivered. So now, more than ever, they are skeptical. They don't want more information, they want results. That means your offer has to be clear, specific, and transformation-focused. You have to show that you understand their problem better than they do, and that you've built something that addresses it directly and effectively. When you make this shift in your messaging and delivery, everything changes. Your marketing becomes more compelling, your content becomes more engaging, and your customer experience becomes more fulfilling. People will start to associate your brand not just with a product, but with progress. They'll remember how you made them feel, how you helped them grow, and how their life changed, however big or small, because of what you offered. That emotional memory becomes loyalty, and loyalty becomes long-term revenue. The businesses that thrive long-term are the ones that become known for results. They don't have to convince people to buy because the transformation speaks for itself. Testimonials roll in, referrals multiply, and word of mouth becomes a powerful engine for growth. In every industry, bounce waits. If you can provide that hope in a tangible, measurable, and honest way, you position yourself as not just a business, but a bridge to a better future. Success flows from alignment with purpose, not just hard work. Many people have been taught that working harder is the only path to success. They wake up earlier, stay up later, grind through exhaustion, and chase every opportunity they can find. But effort without alignment leads to burnout, not breakthrough. There are people working themselves into the ground with nothing to show for it, because what they're doing is not aligned with who they are. They've confused motion with momentum and busyness with progress. Real success, lasting success, flows from the place where identity, passion, skill, and service converge. Alignment means understanding your unique design, your values, strengths, and calling, and building your work around that. It's not about chasing trends or copying someone else's model. It's about tuning into what you're meant to do, what problem you're uniquely equipped to solve, and who you're meant to serve. When those elements line up, work feels lighter, decisions become clearer, obstacles become part of the process instead of reasons to quit. You start attracting opportunities instead of constantly having to chase them. And most importantly, the people you help can feel the difference. Authenticity communicates without words. When you operate in alignment, it shows up in your presence, your energy, and your results. Hard work still matters. Discipline, consistency, and focus are essential. But hard work without alignment can feel like climbing a mountain in the wrong direction. You get to the top only to realize it's not where you wanted to be. That's why purpose must guide the hustle. Purpose is what gives meaning to the effort. It's what keeps you grounded when things don't go as planned. It's what fuels your resilience when setbacks come. Without purpose, work becomes mechanical and life becomes empty, no matter how much money you make or recognition you receive. People often think they have to choose between making money and doing meaningful work. But the truth is, the highest levels of success come when those two things are united. When you build a business or a career that reflects your purpose, you don't just generate income, you create impact. And that impact becomes a magnet. People are drawn to those who live and work with conviction. They trust you more. They refer you more. They partner with you more. Because deep down, everyone is craving that same clarity and courage. One of the most powerful advantages of alignment is that it brings sustainability. When you're doing work that flows from your purpose, you can keep going even when it's hard. You don't need external motivation because you're internally driven. Your energy doesn't drain as quickly because what you're doing fills you up instead of wearing you down. This is how leaders, creators, and visionaries are able to endure and evolve over time. They don't just pivot randomly, they pivot with purpose. And that makes every transition intentional and strategic instead of reactive and chaotic. Alignment also sharpens your focus. When you're clear on what you're here to do, you stop chasing distractions. You stop trying to do everything. You don't waste time comparing yourself to others because you know your lane. You build deeper, not wider. You go further, not faster. And in doing so, you actually accelerate your growth, because every action you take compounds in the direction of your true path. There's no wasted motion, no scattered energy, just focused movement toward your mission. People think success is complicated, but in many cases, it's about simplifying. It's about stripping away what's not yours to carry, not yours to build, not yours to chase. Alignment is about saying no to the good so you can say yes to the great. It's about honoring the design you were created with and having the courage to walk it out, even when it doesn't make sense to other people. Especially when it doesn't make sense to other people, because deep down, the path to real success is not something you discover, it's something you remember.